Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Randy, and today we have an unboxing video yet again. This is a very divisive figure between the community right now. Everyone, I think, is in agreement that it's a really pretty gorgeous figure, but the assembly is apparently going to be painstaking and very prone to breakage. So, kind of nervous about this one, but today we have the Hatsune Miku Shimian Maifu version. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly or not, but this is from Good Smile Art Shanghai, I believe.
Nope.
Or just Good Smile Company. I thought it was Shanghai Arts, but I don't actually see that anywhere on the box. It'll be on screen regardless. It's all good. But yeah, very excited for this one today. I've been looking forward to it for a while. Now that she's been out and I've been seeing reviews, I'm very nervous to put her together, but that's fine. Let's just go over the box super quick before we dive in. Front of the box, the whole box in general is really actually quite nice. It has this kind of rainbow shimmer to it throughout the entirety of the exterior. So I'll just give you a nice 360. I think I actually have some B-roll for the box, so I'll probably just throw that in there. Yeah, really pretty box overall. Even the top has some things on it from the figure. And the bottom, you're not missing anything. It's the exact same thing. Disclaimer, I did already cut the tape on the outside and opened it up. I didn't open the blister or anything, but I wanted to see if anything arrived broken. Because I did see some reviews about that, and I didn't get time to film right when she showed up, so I just wanted to verify that all the pieces seemed to be good. I didn't see anything broken for the little peek that I took, so hopefully everything is good to go. Disclaimer number 2 is I know that this is probably going to take a long time to put together. So normally I kind of cut things out when there's just long gaps of me playing around with stuff, or I'll speed up the footage or something. I kind of want to use this video as a tutorial for people if it goes well. If I manage not to break anything, I want to be able to kind of have the build mostly in its entirety in the video. So if the build process you're not interested in, I'll have timestamps in the video. You can easily just skip through the building phase, go straight into the showcase or the review, whatever you want to watch from the video. Enough chit chat. I'm anxious, nervous, excited, all the things. Let's dig into this and see how she turned out. Instructions, I know I'm gonna need those. So one thing I will note is the figure is incredibly lightweight. I was definitely expecting her to weigh more. I don't know why, but I've had other figures similar in size, and I just feel like she weighs very little. So hopefully her build quality is good. I know the ribbon, the orange ribbon that we're going to get into, I already know the build quality is not so good. It's very stiff and rigid plastic, so it doesn't warp over time. So I understand the reasoning as to why they had it the way they do, but it's going to be rough. All right. And I already knew this. There's a twist tie on this one. Nail clippers do a great job at getting the twist tie out of your way, because these things are like absolutely murderous to try and actually untwist, and it just feels like you're gonna break your fingers. But these just go right on through, and you can much more easily pull that metal twist tie out. One thing I was really nervous about are these flames in the back here. These flame pieces, I think they're supposed to be all one piece, and I feel a lot of people said theirs came broken in 2 pieces, so... Oh, there's more tape I missed. Oh. Oh, I'm nervous. I think I'm going to start taking out some pieces that are on the outsides. Come on. Okay. So no base assembly, looks like. She's already going to be on the base. So yeah, it does look like the easiest thing is to take her out first. Wow. Yeah, she's super, super light. Alright, I'm already nervous to take these things off. Oh, this is just gently resting. That wasn't so bad. Okay, so those just come off real easily. They're just lightly placed. I feel like the more gentle you try to be, the worse you end up doing. Oh, goodness. The amount of stress I feel, like you should put, oh, if you could feel my heart right now, if you could hear my heartbeat, it is going a mile a minute. So let's make sure she's good, nothing broken or anything on her main body. Nope. Spoiler alert. This is gorgeous. Even if you don't put the rest of it together, oh, she is stunning. Damn. All right, I'm going to put her somewhere, not this table for the time being. I'll bring her back into frame in a moment, but I just want to be able to get things out of the box without shaking and rattling and causing any potential damage. All right, here's the dreaded orange ribbon. I don't think I've ever seen a piece just like full on taped down like this. I do want to move at some point when the market allows for it. And I'm already saying this now. I'm not going to take this figure apart and try and pack it back in her box. And I haven't even gotten to the assembly yet. All right, we have 3 arrow pieces. And then we had a flame effect that I already took out. Okay, nothing broken on the pieces, for the pieces yet. Well, it's very clear. I think they knew that this was going to be incredibly fragile. The way that it is packaged, I've never quite seen an effect piece packaged in this manner before. Oh, yeah. I've seen pictures of where it breaks. I can see why. I can see how it could easily snap. I can't believe that's how they made this. Let me show you up close. Let me just get rid of this box. Man, I'm even afraid to pick this thing up. So there's probably 2 points of failure, but the big point of failure I can see with this effect piece, I think it's actually 2 pieces that they glued together. It definitely doesn't seem like it's one piece, solid piece originally anyway. So this piece right here, there's a piece where it connects right here. It just looks super, super breakable. It's crazy. There's not that many pieces. I wonder if it's going to be as bad as everyone says, or if people were exaggerating. I actually expected this to just, based on all the comments and reviews I've been seeing, I really thought there'd be more to the instructions. So there's some pegs in the base. They're just placeholders for the arrows that are going to go in. I'm just going to try and remove these. I heard these are actually pretty tough sometimes to get out, but not too bad so far. Well, I didn't find that to be that difficult. One of them was a little wedged, but it came out no problem. I'll do the arrows later though, because I know that part's not going to be so hard. We start with the bird's arm ribbon piece. And based on some of the reviews I was reading, they recommended doing the opposite of the instructions. The instructions say kind of start at the head or top and work your way down with the ribbon and getting the pegs in the various places that they need to go. Some of the reviewers on My Figure Collection were kind of saying if you start at the bottom and go up, it seemed to go a little smoother for them. So first things first, find all the peg holes. So obviously up here is going to be where her hand goes. Oh, okay. So there's actually only two pegs that you have to, or two holes that you have to worry about for this ribbon piece, plus the arm hole, obviously, for the rest of her arm. There's a really tiny, tiny little peg here on the ribbon. And then there's I think there's supposed to be.
What? What the fuck?
All right, I legitimately have no freaking idea. So the instructions are all black and white. It's actually kind of tough to see what it's trying to tell me. Putting a pause on this. I just want to inspect everything. So I think the bird just really has one middle peg that I showed you. I don't see, oh, okay, there's a bottom peg on this bottom one, but I definitely don't see any peg on this top bird. Okay, so I'm gonna try step one, getting the hand arm inserted, and then that will get the birds aligned on where they need to go. I'm probably not going to push everything super firmly in place because I'm too nervous to. Okay, so that actually went in pretty easily. There is a shape to the arm peg, so just align the shape, and her hand definitely just rests on the instrument. Well, clearly that bird does not peg into anything, so I was right about that. And then this middle bird over here is going to go into some peg hole that's on her like hair pieces somewhere. I have no idea where this is supposed to go. Oh, geez, that is hard to see. I'm gonna take a picture with my phone so you can see this. There's no way in heck I'm gonna get the camera to focus the way I want it to. Okay, so yeah, her pink hairpiece has a small little peg hole for this ribbon to insert into. Very hard to see. So I'm gonna go for this bottom bird first, just so I have a little bit more room, because this looks like it's going to be kind of difficult to angle in properly. I'm gonna use my phone again. So this bottom bird is going to insert into this like flowing piece of cloth here. Has a peg on its wing. I can see how people could break this though. This doesn't actually line up very well. You have to like twist it a little. Okay, let's try and get this one in first. And I can see how this could be incredibly frustrating. Whew. Alright, this sucks. What the hell? Jesus. I don't know if you guys heard that, but my neighbor just decided to come through my wall or something.
Oh yeah!
Alright, well this is going splendidly. This is so shitty. Ugh. Who designed this? If I manage to do this before my camera dies, honestly, I'll be impressed with myself. Alright everyone, my camera died. Like, I can't even get this to start going in. Let me try and get this bottom bird in. Start from the bottom, work my way up to the arm. So that way I can get a better angle on this bottom peg. Aha, aha. So I think the bottom of the orange needs to thread between her legs here, which was just like not happening when I had the arm and everything else connected first. So let me get that thread through. I think I actually got that pretty well in there. So I was right about that. When you're building yours, just be sure that this bottom of the orange ribbon threads in between her thighs or her legs, and that should allow you to get the proper angle for the peg to go into this piece of fabric from its wing. And that was definitely a bit easier to do first. And now that that's kind of cemented in place, we can gently wrap this around the instrument. And then, yeah, everything just kind of falls into place once you have that bottom bird in there. The arm, easy, very easy fit to put in. And then this bird, this middle bird here, is all lined up. So I'm probably not going to be able to get this into the peg hole, but it doesn't really detract from the look of the figure. Like, you can just have it resting.
Surrender may be our only option.
No, never give up, never surrender.
Yeah, no matter what I do, this just does not go in at all. Oh my god. So I don't think people were overreacting about how much of a pain in the ass this is, but I don't find it to be too brittle, honestly. It is just incredibly finicky construction.
Much later.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I got it. It's like 75, 85% inserted. It's not going anywhere. Once it's all in enough, nothing is really moving. Oh, God. I was just about to give up. How long have I been recording for? 40 minutes? No, that can't be right.
I'm waiting, old man.
Whew, okay. Step 2 is this top flame piece, and that just goes in the top of her head. Can't miss it. It's pretty much dead center in between the two flower pieces. There's going to be a hole for you to insert this bottom peg into. The flame goes over the top of the instrument, and there is a very specific pattern or shape to this peg. So you just match up the shape and you should be able to go. Who designed this thing? So the effect piece goes over the top, the fretboard of the instrument, but behind the ribbon and the bird over here. This is wild. Oh, okay. Whew. So that actually goes in very easily. You do not have to fight it. As soon as you have it lined up properly, shape-wise, it glides right in. So that was step 2. There's only 4 steps. Step 3 are the arrows. And then the last step is going to be this main flame piece. So arrows, we have 3 arrows. I probably should have left those placeholders where they were, because now I'm having trouble seeing the holes. Stupid. Why am I only seeing 1 hole? Okay, so medium arrow is by itself. The short and the long arrow go together somewhere in the front. And I can only find 1 friggin' peg hole. Ah, I found you. Man, okay. Arrows are in. The arrows actually go in really easily. You don't have to worry about breaking them. They fit into their holes pretty well There's not too much force that you have to use. And now for this very breakable flame piece, which only surprisingly has one place where it connects to anything. There's one main peg down at the bottom, and it just plugs into the bottom of the base down here and wraps around her. Honestly, harder than you would have thought. Where do you go? Whew. So once you get the right angle on this, it does go in pretty easily, but snaking it around all her hair, body. She's done. She's done. I didn't break anything. Yes. All right, I need a break. So let's jump into the showcase and show off this exquisite figure now that she's assembled. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, welcome back from the showcase. Hope you enjoyed. Let's get into the review of this one. Stunning, gorgeous, elegant. Those are some keywords that I would use to describe the figure. Assembly, you know what I'm going to say. The assembly is absolute torture. I never want to assemble this thing again. I never want to break her down and put her in her box when moving time comes, because I do want to own a home at some point if, if the market could ever get any better for buyers. Then yeah, besides the point, moving is going to suck if you want to take this apart, put her back in her blister, put her back in the box. So now that we've gotten the assembly out of the way, which took me about 45 minutes, by the way, I think that's a record. But let's go over the figure base. Very small. Like this, for such a stunning piece of art, and I do consider this to honestly be like art worthy. This is a piece of art for sure. Base is incredibly small. It has good detail. It's kind of muddy, like if that makes sense. Not in terms of like color, of course, but like think of like a picture online where it's just not sharp. It's like the details aren't super sharp, and things appear kind of blurry or a little muddy. That's kind of what the bottom of the base has, and that could be what they're going for. So it's not bad by any means. Enough about the base. Sculpt. This is one of the best sculpted figures in my collection. Hands down. The sculpt of the body, the sculpt of the hair, the sculpt of her hands, her face, unbelievable. The sculpt of the instrument, I don't know what the instrument is called. Forgive me, I really don't know. But yeah, sculpt work out of this world. Like the dress, her dress is so like the essence of painted on almost of like, you know how like like if someone is wearing like a wetsuit or a very skin tight piece of clothing, that's definitely what this is giving. Is just like like liquid tight painted on type feel. Gorgeous detailing throughout the entire dress. The sculpting, oh god, it's just so good, so good. The rips in the bottom of the dress, because she's clearly like in the middle, there's like a battle going on, and I don't know why she's just playing her instrument. Maybe she's a bard or something. But the dress kind of having the worn tattered parts added makes sense to the scene that they're portraying here. And then there's just a million ripples, just tons of ripples and folds and details throughout the entire piece. Awesome shading. There's a lot of blue mixed in with this white. So a lot of gray when you're coming down to the bottom. You have grays and blues that match the rocks actually. Very closely resembles the rocks in the base. You have that design detail in the dress, and then these black ruffles on the trim of the dress are stunning. Ugh, there's so much detail. I can't get past the amount of detail. In addition to the dress work just being stunning, there's all these extra pieces of the dress as well, all the additives that really bring some more character and life into it. You have all these different pieces of fabric spiraling around her, this goddamn orange ribbon that the birds are circling around with. Her fingers are really well designed as well. There is blue nail polish, I like a light blue, and every finger is separate and detailed, which is something you really want for especially a string instrument. So you really do want to have those detailed, separated fingers, and I think they did a great job. Slender but defined. The work on the instrument itself, all the different design work is great. Even the tuning knobs are so cool looking. I love the design of the tuning knobs. And then these are actually real strings, which is awesome. And then her hair is obviously just, with any Miku figures, always a huge standout. And that's no different here. The hair is gorgeous, super stunning. There's so many strands. I can't get over how many strands of hair. Like I've looked at the images a million times online, and I don't think I ever noticed specifically the strands of hair back here. There's so many individual pieces that stem from the root and then just flare out as it twists and turns. And then you have this hair coming around the other side from her other twin tail. The hair is beautiful. They did a stunning job. There's so many different colors and gradients used throughout the hair, and then the sculpting of the hair. Untouchable. There's even this cool braid on the back of her head that runs across the back of her head. That just another detail that's like, why is it there? You'll never see it, but it's so great that it is there. So stunning. The head pieces, another part that's just really great. The flowers, I love the like translucent look of the flowers. This hairpin that turns up into this hair flame effect piece. Truly stunning work. This is definitely the most grown-up Miku that I've experienced. Very mature, grown woman. And then the last thing to talk about is her face. This could be a point of contention for some people because I don't think it looks particularly like Miku's face. The thing that gives it away that it's Miku is the hair. There's no one else that's going to have that color and these types of humongous detailed twin tails. So that's kind of the big sign that this is a Miku figure. But I can understand people maybe not liking the face too much. I love it. Yeah, it may not look like your traditional Miku, but nothing about this design does. And the artwork that's based off of has this similar look. It's not a fault of the figure. They did a very good, faithful representation. The eye decals are so neat. It's like blue primary, like a light blue, but there's like hints of pink and yellow. And then even the stylized eyelashes look amazing. There are some colors in the eyelashes too that peek out the corners. Geesh, so nice. And then the fire effect piece is just so cool looking. It's like liquid gold on fire, just swirling and wrapping and around her. The arrows are very cool. There's not like a ton of detail to the arrows, but there doesn't need to be. But there is some cool shading to the arrows because they're primarily like this light brown color. But then when you get to the feathers, they start to change into a blue hue in the middle and then finish up with brown again at the top. It just such complementary colors to the rest of this. Yeah, I can't say enough good about the figure once it's put together, once you've managed to assemble her. It's worth the effort. It is definitely worth the effort. I think it's worth the money. A lot of people were complaining about her size, and I don't think she's that small. You have to take into account that she's not standing straight up. But if she were standing straight up without the bent knees and the arching of the back, I would say she's easily still a 1/7 scale. I don't think she's small by any means, and I appreciate how little space for such a beautiful figure and how ornate she is. I appreciate the space saving that they did with this figure. I don't think she's the most stable. Like, there's not a lot of space, like circumference to this base, and it's certainly not round like your typical base is either. And I don't like she's not going to tip, but it's very if you just like glanced her hair, especially from this side, I think she would easily tip over that direction. All right, everyone. My camera died because the build took so long for this figure, but I was able to catch the fact that the camera was about to die, but it wouldn't let me turn it right back on. I had to let it charge for a little while. Now I'm running off the power while it charges. I lost my train of thought. I'm not really sure what I was talking about, but I'm fairly confident that I covered the large majority of this figure. So let's get into the score. What do I want to rate this Miku figure? I feel like I need to rate it for two different categories and then kind of combine it into one solid score. So let's start with the negative, which will definitely impact the final score here. And that's definitely 100%, without a doubt, the assembly. The assembly sucks. Plain and simple. There's no sugarcoating it. I don't care who you are. I doubt anyone put this together easily, quickly, without wanting to throw something at some point in the process. Hell, it was not fun. Rewarding, I suppose, if you manage to get it together and you don't break anything. Once you get to see the final product in its glory, then yeah, there is that. But the actual process of putting pieces together, horrible. That part gets a nice, big, fat, like, 3 out of 10 for me. I never want to do that again. That's an easy 3 out of 10 for assembly, but the figure itself, taking the assembly part of the equation out of it entirely, what would I give this figure? Sculpt, 10 out of 10. Have you seen the backside? Paint application, 10 out of 10. Design, like the actual composition, 10 out of 10. The overall aesthetic, 10 out of 10. Easily a 10 out of 10 figure. This is a must-have figure for me anyway. And in my opinion, I think it is a must-have figure for any fan of Miku or just any fan of really gorgeous, stunning figures, honestly. Just the elegance, the stunning beauty. I love it. Must-have figure, even regardless of the painful assembly. Knowing what I know now with the whole thing, I would still buy this in a heartbeat. So I'm not going to do like an average. I'm not just going to combine the scores and average it out. I don't think that's quite fair because the assembly would really drag the score down quite a substantial amount. Oh, I don't know what to do. As always with my scores, they're always subject to change because I'm scoring it in the heat of the moment. I'm scoring it as soon as I've been able to break it out of its blister and put it together. So I don't have time with the figure before giving my scores. But I still want to give this one an 8 out of 10. I want to give it a 10 out of 10. I truly, in my heart of hearts, want to give it a 10 out of 10, but I can't in good conscience give it a 10 out of 10 for the assembly process. An 8 out of 10 is going to be my final score for this one. I'm going to wrap it up here. It's been a hell of a night, man. A hell of a night. This video is like an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. Let me know down in the comments, how do you like this figure? Do you think she turned out great? Are you so over it? Is she overrated, overhyped? Are you just like, nah, that assembly is not for me. I'm good, I'm done. Let me know. I want to hear, because I will not take offense if you're like, yo, this figure's so dumb. Like, I get it. Not everything's for everyone. But this was one I couldn't live without, and this will never be leaving my collection, probably mostly because I don't want to take her apart and try and ship it to anybody. Alright, thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you enjoy the content that I'm putting out there and the reviews that I'm doing, it'd be awesome if you wanted to subscribe, like, leave a comment like I mentioned, share the video with friends and family who may be into the hobby as well, help grow this channel, that'd be super awesome. I have a goal. So there's an anime convention coming up at the end of May, and I have a goal of reaching 100 subscribers by then. If it happens, awesome. Anything you can do to help me get to that point is so appreciated. But hey, if you don't want to do any of that, that's fine. Thank you so much for checking out this video with me, and I hope to see you in another one. Take care, everybody. Adios.